Okay, Dr. RJB here again. And, some people have asked me, what can I do to prevent myself from getting cancer, prevent myself from getting heart disease, etc. So I wanted to give a little bit of a lecture on avoiding disease. Now, one of the major causes of disease, heart, lung, blood vessel problems, is cigarette smoking. So, one of the first things that you should do if you're a cigarette smoker is get off the tobacco. Um, there just isn't a good way that you can take in tobacco that's not going to cause you problems. You can chew tobacco, you can vape tobacco. I mean, I don't care what you do, it's still going to cause problems. People thought that vaping was going to be safe, but it's been shown to cause lung damage. So you're still back to the same thing. And nicotine also causes issues with the heart. It's kind of a halfway measure. Um, it might be a little bit better than cigarette smoking, but realistically, you're still causing yourself disease. Um, the other thing that is kind of a chemical problem that causes issues is alcohol. Um, Alcohol has been related to certain cancers in the body, pancreas and liver cancer, and also, of course, the damage that alcohol does over time. Over time, with somebody who's drinking heavily, they can have cirrhosis of the liver, they can have heart damage, they can have brain damage. All of these organs can be injured if somebody's a heavy drinker, especially if the person who's a heavy drinker is not eating. And there are many alcoholics who use the alcohol as their only calories of the day. Um, uh, when you're drinking a whole bunch of whiskey or you're drinking a whole bunch of beer, you don't have a lot of appetite to eat other things. And if you're not taking in your vitamins, your minerals, your good calories like protein, you're going to have a deterioration of your health. Um, there's no protein in whiskey. Um, so I don't care how much whiskey you drink, you're not getting any protein. You're also not getting any fats. Um, so for somebody who's a whiskey alcoholic and doesn't eat a lot besides that, you have no calories to speak of except for the carbohydrates, which is the alcohol. And of course, there's no vitamins, no minerals in whiskey. So you're going to be nutritionally depleted on all the vitamins. Again, it's just not a good situation. Um, uh, Beer does have carbohydrates, not a lot of protein, not a lot of fats. So it's basically a high carbohydrate diet with nothing else. Again, no vitamins to speak of, no minerals to speak of, no protein, no fats. Again, not a good diet. So when people are on alcohol long term, they can definitely have some deficiencies that can cause disease later on. Now, the other thing with avoiding problems is preventive health. If you go see your primary care doctor and get tested for things, a lot of times we can avoid problems. I had a video earlier about colonoscopy. I think everybody should get a colonoscopy at least once. If they can find the polyps that are precancerous and remove them, you don't have to worry about colon cancer. Um, Likewise, women should also obviously go for their pap smears so that they can avoid a cervical cancer. They should go for their mammograms for prevention of breast cancer. Men should get their prostate checked on occasion, and maybe run the PSA test to look for prostate cancer that way. These are very common cancers. They've recently come up with techniques to do a total body CT scan to look for tumors in the area of the abdomen, the chest, etc. I don't know how much validity there is in that. But we are doing that for cigarette smokers for prevention of lung cancer. So it's something to look into with your primary care doctor. Also, of course, eating good diet and getting some exercise is going to help you prevent things like diabetes and some other conditions caused by poor nutrition or low amount of exercise. So that's another thing that should be added to the equation. But definitely all these things are something you need to think about and discuss with your primary care doctor. Okay, take care.